And as we start, we're just gonna announce the book. So this is The Lost Apothecary, and it's from Sarah Penner. And I've never read anything by her before, but I thought it was so far is really great. And then we did our best attendance for our last book, which was the September House. And now we're getting ready to do the rookie. So I'm going to share my screen again. And everybody cool? Can you see me? Good. Okay, great. Yay, Melissa, you have another thing coming. So yay. I'm glad. I'm glad. Because I keep getting Amazon errors for your address. Is she in here? Is Melissa? Yeah, there you are. Hi. So, I'm gonna message you. Okay, so I'm gonna circle that. And that'll be Aaron that gets to send it to you. That's different than Amazon. It's Amazon who's having the problem. So Aaron may not have any issues at all. So that's different. Okay. For whatever reason, Stephanie lives at like 1/3 B. You've sent something to her before too, Aaron. I think it's a really unusual address Stephanie does, and Amazon rejects it too. And I'm getting the same reject from Melissa. It's weird. Okay. Otherwise, does anybody have any announcements that they would like to bring up before any we get started or anybody else comes in? Oh my gosh. Okay, who's the rat, Udi? We got to go over the rat. We've got a little team member here, so
This one's Big Mama. Big Stripe just went inside, but
oh, hi, Big
this is Big
Mama.
Mama. They want to come out, man. I don't know what it is, but the little ones are getting more friendly. I've named them all.
No, the babies, the new
Yeah.
ones. So are they smaller or are they the same? They
Yes.
are. Can
They
we
are
see
much
one?
smaller. Yeah, let me grab one. Come here, Timu. You are the lucky guest.
Oh,
So
smart.
she's
Oh
super
my
small. And
goodness.
this isn't even the tiniest one. Go ahead, Timu. I have two other girls, Aurora and Yzma.
So
So
will
the one
they,
with the Y,
is it all females or would they have
yeah.
babies? Okay,
I keep the males separate. I have two males,
okay.
older males, but I'm gonna stop having males when they go away. Come on,
Mhm.
Timu.
They like to get down into your hair
Oh
and
yes.
nest.
So Big Stripe was just in my shirt. This one. This is the older
Oh, I
one.
love
She was
them.
just out.
Oh, look at their little ears. So
Yes.
Jane is a Chihuahua,
Oh,
and when we brought her home, she was the size of Big Mama, and
oh
kind of looked like her.
really?
Her tail was real long like that.
Uh-huh.
She had the big pointy ears, and I'm like, did we get a dog or did we get a rat? Whatever it is, it's
I know.
adorable. Okay.
Wesley's the same way. I got him when he was 4 weeks old, so he fit in the palm of my hand as well. And he's actually back there with his dad. His dad's playing The Last of Us right now.
Oh, I love them. Thank you for sharing with
Yes.
us.
Big Mama
Thank
wants to
you.
stay out. You're welcome. And then the other two I think are sleeping. That's why I called her Aurora because she is always asleep.
She's Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, and she's all white, and her sister is the one with the Y on it, and she's gray like Big Mama. And I like to name after Disney characters.
Oh, I love my cousin Mary has all her animals are after Disney characters.
Yeah, my snake is Jafar. Mickey, I had Minnie, even though we spelt it Mini. And then
Oh,
we had another one that looks like Big Stripe. Thank you, Jameson. But her name was Dumbo, and she was a Dumbo rat. And these are all Dumbo rats to all the new ones. So their ears are off to the
oh.
side.
My
Your
cats,
cats
well,
are
then
all
you're,
Disney cats. I love it.
oh, I love that. Like the aristocrats.
See, that's when we named one of our litter kittens that my mother-in-law rescued. It was an all white cat. We named her Marie from the Aristocats, and she got adopted into a nice family.
Oh, I love
Yeah, I'm
that.
a huge Disney nerd, so
I love
Big
Disney
Mama
too.
just got named Big Mama because she was the biggest out of all of them.
She's
But
so lovey though.
dude, she
So
just wants to
lovey.
chill. That's all she wants to explore too. But
Oh,
yeah, this is the one with the tooth problem. So she's a little ragged right now because we just cut her bottom teeth. But she's happy. She's happy with
Simba
it.
Mittens and Sergeant Tibbs. Oh my God, how cute. So all of mine are named after songs. I have, well, and a musician, but Mary Jane, of course, is after the song Mary Jane and
I
after my
love it.
favorite plant. And Delilah Rose is after Hey There, Delilah. And now we have Better Linen. And I had Penny Lane, who was after the Beatles song. So I get it. You get a theme going, you don't want
Yeah.
to ruin the theme. I totally get it. Well, so I think we may have Tiff coming in, and that might be it. So we can go ahead and sort of get started. I think the easiest way to delve into this sort of thing is to start with like our favorite quote, our favorite themes, or anything that like generally stands out to us. I'm going to move everyone around, of course, and order because we all know I'm famous for not knowing the alphabet. Okay. And I always either add Jameson early or leave them out completely. So we have to make sure I do this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and I haven't heard anything from Tiff, so I wouldn't be surprised around 8 if Tiff comes in. Okay, we are good. And we'll go ahead and start with Erin. Oh, she left. Oh, there's Patty. Hi, Patty. Hello, beautiful. I think you're muted. It's so good to see you.
Hi, it's good to see you too. How are you
Oh,
doing?
we missed you last week so much, and I know you've been having a little bit of a book hangover from the September house.
I had a really bad one.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Are you
Like I'm
feeling,
still weird.
um, have you found any kind of closure with it at all or feel any better?
It's just honestly like I wasn't expecting it to affect me in the way it was. But then again, I wasn't going into this, I wasn't aware that it was going to be a book about domestic violence
Either.
or how you could just one day wake up and realize that you're in one. And it was just very, very real for me. So it was, I don't know. That might be one of those ones I just hold on to forever, to be
I
honest.
I struggled too. You're not alone. The symbolism of domestic violence and mental illness and the way that they put it in like with horror, I was totally expecting creepy bad house, Amityville type of thing, and I was way more emotional than I expected. In fact, I really struggled finishing the end of the book. I
Mm-hmm.
push. So it hit me too unexpectedly, but I feel like almost every book that we've read I've had a little bit of that feeling with. So even this one's hitting me real bad in the feels, even though this is the first one that we've done together that I've been like, I don't want to put it down. I love it so much. But it's hitting places that are hard to be. It got used to. Yeah, it's really sensitive. That was
Mm-hmm.
September House was much deeper than I ever expected. They really should be some type of warning on these things of what to expect. So I totally all my little hugs and stuff because it was hard for me too. We were going to go over our favorite themes and quotes of this one. And then we also did our wheel spins, and Tiff won best attendance and Melissa won rookie before you came in. So just to get you caught up. And then I guess we'll start down here with Tara since Aaron had to leave, about your favorite quotes or your favorite scenes or anything that stuck out to you.
One of the quotes that stuck out to me most is when she was just started searching and she said, I checked my phone and decided to give it 12 more minutes until 3 p.m. If things hadn't perked up by then, a small find, even mildly interesting, I'd kindly excuse myself. 12 minutes, a fraction of a lifetime, yet enough to alter the course of it.
Yeah, yeah, big time goosebumps. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Good one. I also really love your braids. I didn't realize your hair was that long. That happened to me with Edie too. One time she always wears dark colors, and one time her hair was on light colors. Like, wow. Oh, you highlighted that one too, Melissa. It's a good one. How about you, Robin? I know you're dying to talk back to the books. I'm really curious your take on it so far.
Yeah, so I did have a few of them, but my favorite quote was so it's like right close to the beginning when she is talking about the Victorians, and she says, I thought again about Charles Dickens, the author's name echoing in my ears like that of an ex-boyfriend, fondly forgotten, an interesting guy, but not promising enough for the long haul.
Yeah,
Like I just love that.
I do too. I thought it was really interesting that she was a history major. And a lot of what she says of what she does is different than how she feels. I'm really curious how that's all going to fit into her storyline. So, she might be my
Yeah.
favorite character so far, but I'm curious. How about you, Patty?
So I've just been listening to it on audiobook, so I haven't like actually like highlighted anything, but like one thing that I've thought about a lot is the ghost of the girl in the room next to Eliza.
Johanna or Joanna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, I've just been thinking about it a lot, and I think like at first I was like, why would she quickly jump to this? But I feel like, does anyone else feel like that baby was her
Oh,
husband?
1000%. And I think something happened to her while she was under the influence of the liquor that he gave her.
Yeah.
She like blacked out. Yes, 1000%. Yeah. And I think she may be in touch with like the supernatural side. I think that's what pulled her to this shop so much and stuff. And
Mhm.
why she was so okay with doing the things she did. Yeah. I think hearing that really is a big give for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the main thing I thought about the whole time, which is like that's his baby, and this is weird.
She also picked up right when he passed,
Yes,
you
yes, her
know?
bleeding.
Yeah, yeah. Udi, how about you?
I was going to bring that up as well. That's one thing I wanted to talk about was like they were both pregnant at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but they're referencing both in the timelines that they were pregnant. And they mentioned that. And I'm just like, I wonder what happened. And it seems like they both might have lost their children in a way because one has a scar, and that's the symbolism I wanted to bring up. Like, I'm wondering, and now with Caroline being late on her period, like, are we going to see is she going to lose the baby as well? Like, does she choose to not
I'm really
continue on
worried.
with him? Yeah. So that's another, I didn't want to post that on Facebook, but that's was another part of my question. Like, do we think that, what is she going to happen with her baby? Is she going to keep it?
I
You
know.
know?
I know.
And the quote that stuck through was definitely at the end of the chapter where it was just like to push through the dark and look inside of it all. Like, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Big time. How about you, Melissa?
All right. So I also had the 12 minutes quote, but I also have killing and secret keeping had done this to me. It had begun to rot me from the inside out, and something inside me meant to tear me open. So I like that one. Not so much the killing, but secret keeping and what that does to us internally and our mental health. And so that one really stuck with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I There's definitely something going on there, and I think there's symbolism to that. I agree. I picked up on it too. How about you, Jameson?
There was a quote right at the end of the last chapter, 14, I think, that we read. She said, I had no idea what lay behind the door. It was likely to be a crumbling mess filled with rats and spider webs. But if there was anything I knew about myself now that I didn't know a few days ago, it was that looking inside wasn't always comfortable.
Oh, isn't that so true?
And I've never wanted to keep reading more in my whole life.
I
But
know.
I don't know. I really like this book.
Me
I
too.
think sometimes a book comes along when you need this book, and I think this is that book for me.
Me too. Me
And I
too.
never would have read it. I never would have picked this, and
Yeah.
but I needed this book, I think.
I know, me too. I've got goosebumps. There's a couple of them in this that have like made me stop and pause, and like it's made me so emotional. It hit so hard that I kind of got teared up. Like, oh man, like it really hurt. The one for me was the shop owner, I can't remember her name, Nella. Nella. She talks about how what it would be like to be young and have the possibility of still getting pregnant, and her time has passed. Like she'll never get to feel that in her womb. And like I had to like put the book down and walk away and like just completely realize like my time, I'm gonna be, I'm 46, it's gone for me. And like I never got to experience that. And it was just like, but I've been coming to terms with it. So maybe this book was sent to me for a reason. There's been a couple of things in the book about pregnancy and loss and stuff like that that really hit me in the field so far. So I don't know, but I love when something makes you emotionally attached to it. And I'm having a hard time putting it down too. Beans, I saw your comment that you did you want to share or you want to pass on this one? The 12 minutes was your quote, and you're at the start of chapter 14. Okay. And then there wasn't any more that you wanted to add in.
No, not really.
Okay, that's okay. Erin, did you have any themes or quotes that really like pulled at your heartstrings or made you think, or any kind of predictions?
Um, oh, Gabriella says no. Yeah, actually, I also highlighted the 12-minute quote, but then and I also wanted to keep on reading. This was a good one to like, it was a page turner, it was quick. But the very last quote kind of stuck with me. She says, as distraught as I've been in the last 2 days, I felt more alive in London, enveloped in an old mystery, enveloped, enveloped and an old mystery and old story that I could remember feeling in years. I resolved to continue digging, to push through the dark and look inside of it all. And I felt like that was really good, that even though she's like really struggling, she's going to get through it, you know? But also I felt so sad for her, just what she's going through. She thought she had, a great life, and she gave up so much to be with this man that she loved. And it just
Happens a
hurts.
lot.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. I wanted to ask, so I get this sense that Nella did a lot of sacrificing, and now I'm getting the sense that is it Caroline? She did sacrificing too. I'm wondering, I almost feel like, is she gonna discover the apothecary and like take it over and like be the new? That's what I'm hoping for her, because I feel like she's being suffocated in Cincinnati. Isn't it funny that that's where they're located? I thought that was interesting. Okay, we're gonna start with the first question from Melissa. So thank you so much for contributing. Um, Perfect segue. How do we think Nella and Caroline are going to get connected? And we'll start there. So we can actually do a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do you think that Nella is still alive? Like her herbs, do you think she found a way to still be here after 2,000 years? Or do you think the apothecary is just like abandoned and Caroline will find it? So if she's still alive, thumbs up. You think thumbs down? Okay. Some people, yeah. Patty, you think she's gone? I don't know. I, oh, really? Okay. So I'm thinking something about Nella's still around. I'm getting the vibe that maybe she's like witchy and like all the stuff that, how Voldemort, every time he killed somebody, a little fragment of his soul lived on. Maybe that's like the way to like, I don't know. I have a feeling either the memory of her or a lineage of her is still there. And then the other question, which I think is really cool, and I didn't give much thought to, is the one I really wanted to talk about, is what do you think Nella's going to do about Lady Clarence, the one that came in that she denied those, was it beetle poison? And we'll start at Erin, and we'll go back around.
Okay, so the first question, I actually feel like she might be more related, and I can't remember what's the little girl's name again. What's her name?
Nella, Caroline, and is it Edith?
Eliza?
Eliza. Good job, Patty.
I keep feeling like she's somehow related to Eliza, like maybe, and not Nella. I don't know. That's just my theory. But what was the next question? I'm sorry.
What do you think she's going to do about Lady Clarence?
Oh,
with
gosh, I have no idea. I feel like she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, but she deviated from her roots once before, when she started making these poisons. So who knows? Maybe this is just another fork in the road and she's going to take the bad one. I don't know. But I also I don't hate her. I don't feel bad that she's making these poisons because I mean, oh, women are still put down and oppressed in 2024, but back then I guess it was even worse. So when I first read it, I was like, yeah, someone's got to stick it to them, you know? So good for
Right.
her for being the one. So I don't know. I hope that she doesn't, but what else is she gonna do?
Well, have such, my favorite thing about reading books with you is that you have so much intuition. And so if you had to guess or what you would do with this woman, what would you do? Would you give it to her? Would you kill her? Would you,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, how would you resolve this? Because she's coming back and she wants that beetle stuff. Like
yeah.
she's demanding. Um, because you don't want to lose your shop.
Hmm. Right.
What do you think?
I honestly don't know. I'm trying to put the timeline together, like between the year that the apothecary was open and the year she found that letter. Was it a similar time frame? I can't remember.
I think it's a while. Like I think
A
Like
while
after
20
later.
years,
20?
roughly.
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
I honestly have no idea. I'm stumped on that one, so I couldn't tell you.
I'll be curious to see. And Beans,
Me too.
did you have any idea or what you would do with this lady with the mistress? She wants to kill the mistress.
I don't think she's going to do it. I think that she takes the value of women's lives very seriously, and I think that she might just get arrested if that's what it comes to.
You might be right. You might be right on that. I don't think that she doesn't strike me as somebody that would back down from her own, feeling. How about you, Jameson?
I don't really think she has a choice. I think she has to do it. Um, I don't know. I think she has to. I think that's how. I feel like that's how Eliza is going to get involved. Like
Hmm.
it took her so long. There's no way she can do this again herself. She's going to need help. Um, and I feel like that's how they're going to get involved with each other. I don't think she has a choice about whether or not she does it. I think she has to. Um,
Yeah.
oh, and then I can't remember. I don't think I don't think Nella is still around. I think that since what is her name, Caroline?
Yes, Caroline.
I think now that she found the vial, I think that's where her like historian digging background is going to come back. I think she's going to figure. I don't know if she'll figure the whole thing out, but I think she's going to find.
Yeah.
I don't know, the ledger, the apothecary, the bill. That she's going to find something. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so Nella's mom kept documents, that's how she got the apothecary. I wonder if those documents still exist in this boarded up building and Caroline will like be able to go through those, and decipher them. I think that would be interesting. What I'm wondering, now that we talk about it, I wonder since she has to have it done in a day and she's like older and feeble and like that's gonna be really hard on her. I almost wonder Eliza if she'll say she's doing it but send something bogus. She seems the type of person to do something a little underhand like that. Like, how about you, Melissa?
Okay, I'm thinking something similar where I think Nella values, other women's life so highly that she's not going to harm Lady Clarence, but I think Eliza is maybe going to protect Nella. Maybe like you said, if she's helping her put the potion together, if
Uh-huh.
she's going to do something to it to cause the harm to Lady Clarence in order to protect Nella.
Yeah.
Um, and I
She's
was wondering,
mischievous.
oh, go ahead.
She's mischievous. I get a
Yes.
mischievous vibe. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Liza doesn't have the same values that Nella has. So I don't think she would mind. Um, And I'm wondering maybe if it's a reincarnation type of scenario between Nella and Caroline. And it maybe kind of hits her by being in the from like when she gets into the building and starts looking around, it kind of comes back to her, kind of like a deja vu kind of situation.
Oh, that's a fun thing to think. Or maybe like ancestry, maybe they're somehow related. Oh, yeah, I like that. I didn't even consider that. Hi, Emily. Good evening. It's lovely to see you. Thank you for being here.
Hi guys, sorry I'm late. We were building a pirate ship all day, so
How fun. I just want to get you caught up real quick. We went over our favorite quotes, and now we are talking about two questions. Do you feel like Nella might still be alive? And also, what do you think she's going to do about what's the lady's name? The Lord, I had it up. The Lord's wife that wants to kill the mistress. That's what we're going over right now. What we think she's going to do, if she's going to give in, or if she's going to let her Clarence. Clarence, is that right? Lady Clarence, that's right. Okay, thank you so much. Yes. So that's where we are. And then we did our raffles. Tiff won best attendance and Melissa won rookie. And that's all you've missed so far. So you're caught up. I'm gonna move your little box up here, and then we are going to keep going. Robin, did you have your hand up, honey?
No, I was waving at Emily.
Oh, you're waving. Okay, cute. Okay. Udi, go ahead, and then we'll come back to you. Emily, you can think about the questions. Go ahead.
So I don't think they're really related. I do think that Nella does kind of teach that little girl, Eliza. And then I think Caroline does do the deep dig in and she finds, because, she's a woman, she kind of knows how to look for things that a man doesn't know how to look for. And I think she finds the secret hidden room and possibly takes it over. And then the other question, what was the other one?
There was just a few thoughts.
Oh, Lady Crescent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I agree with you that she's going to give a fake, it's going to be like a placebo effect because it has to happen at that event. Otherwise, she has no other chance. So
Right.
I think that she is going to take Eliza with her and show her how to do it, but then give a fake thing. And Eliza's not going to know that it's fake. Or she might just be like, hey, this is how I roll. Like, I don't kill women. And maybe that's when she tells her story because she said that she was the mistress and she didn't know. So,
Yeah,
so I'm thinking maybe she'll use that as a way to teach Eliza why she only kills men.
I agree.
And then Eliza already kind of knows because she kind of, what happened with, her master, and she killed her master too, So
right.
that's my theory. That's how I feel about that.
I just really can't. That's the whole foundation of what she does is to protect women. I just can't see her allowing someone to,
I don't either.
die on it. No, I don't think so either. I'm just really curious how they're going to get out of it.
Yeah, so I think
Without
I mean,
repercussion.
and then just like I think maybe that's how they get more into a hidden room or they move or something. Maybe do another level of security, like, oh yeah, you can try and find it.
Maybe
If
that's
you
what
don't know who
Caroline
my
might be.
mom is, maybe that's my a theory for me. Maybe she gets even more hidden because of this.
Fascinating. How about you, Patty?
So, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think she's gonna kill Lady Clarence because it is her code to not kill women. However, if it were up to me, if I was Nella and I had to either kill this person who is innocent or this person who's trying to murder somebody else, I would probably do that. I would probably do the latter, and I would kill her. Now I hadn't really thought about like enacting Eliza into it, which obviously she's going to need to recruit Eliza in some way, but maybe it's one of those things where she just, mentions to Eliza, like, oh, if I really wanted to do it, this is how I would do it, so that Eliza can learn and take on that apprenticeship that she wants. But I do think that Lady Krantz is a dick and she's probably going to die. I think so. I don't really know about like the connection. I don't know if there is going to be any more of a connection between Caroline and Nella other than her just actually rediscovering who she is as a person. She's not, this housewife in Cincinnati. She is a historian, and she is someone who, you know, wants to make a difference in her life and what have you. And maybe the only thing that Nella really has in the part in Caroline's life is that she gives her this little tiny thing to return to herself.
Yeah, I think I appreciate your candor and honesty, because I totally would have killed that lady right then and there. Like, frying pan to the head. We're not hurting any other women. If you want to take women out, we're gonna have to take you out. Sorry, that's sorry, not sorry. We stick together. We don't hurt each other, type of thing. Yeah. So thank you for being honest, because I was feeling really crummy about, like, screw this old lady broad. No. How about you, Robin?
So I actually thought that's what was happening. Like when they were talking about the jar with no lid on, and she was like trying to grab it, and then Nella was grabbing it. I thought she was gonna like throw it on her because she was like, be very careful not to touch it. And so I was like, oh, she about to kill her. Like, but I think then she had like the whole conversation about like her morals. So I think that Eliza is going to do it. I think Eliza is going to sneak and find this chick and kill her before she has a chance to come back or go to the authorities or anything.
Yes. I think Eliza also has a sense of, like, duty and loyalty. The way that she helped her, the lady that she was taking care of, and the way she killed her husband. I don't think that for her it wouldn't be something she would even have to consider or debate about. She would just love this lady. You know what I mean? I don't think that would be.
And I
Yeah.
think, like when her mom was talking about like moving up, and like her mom was saying like you go there and you do whatever it takes kind of thing. I think Eliza now is like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and I see her like totally just taking one for Nella and slaughtering her.
Yeah, I totally was going there with that. How about you, Erin? I see your hands raised.
I was just going to add that it's definitely plausible now that you guys have like talked about it, because Noah's already questioned Eliza's moral compass a couple of times. Like, how can you, kill this man and then be perfectly fine the next day? So definitely, I think I could see it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can. It's like a duty for her. She feels like it's a service, like a good thing, I think, to help these women out. How about you, Tara?
I definitely agree and think Eliza's gonna do something.
Yeah, I think
I
so
mean,
too.
she came to the shop, she stepped up right away, I want to learn, I want to be helpful to you, even just for these 2 weeks.
Yeah, it makes me wonder she's so young, and these are such big tasks, and what happened to her to make her so okay with that. That's fascinating. Okay, so Emily, we're going to come back to you. First thing is, I wanted to know if you had any quotes or themes that really stood out to you that you were pondering on, because we didn't get that feedback from you.
Um, for well, for me, because of my past experiences, I just want to murder the husband for cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of stood out, but that's just,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought my
Okay,
thing that
okay.
I wanted to do for my ex-husband when my grandmother had my dad had was I was doing for my divorce was that I want to rip his balls out through his nostrils and cram him back down his throat.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, but I can do
I
it.
I totally agree. I think the betrayal, everybody's on board with you too. Everybody's like, yeah, same. I hope she does. Let's get him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what he's done to her, putting her in submission and making her sacrifice her dreams and things like that, and like keeping her in her place in Cincinnati makes the cheating worse.
yes, yes.
It's
He squashed all of her dreams and did this like, well, this is going to be better for us, but really it's better for him.
Yeah. And then with doing it with another woman and still trying to get her pregnant and brought that hoochie home to their marital, but I don't know. The whole thing is it's really made me angry too. So, and then, do you think Nella is still alive, or do you think somebody is still running the apothecary?
That's where present day now. So like you're bouncing back and forth from 1700 present day. So if she's still alive, she's 300 and what 40 something years old, 300 almost 500 years old, 400 years old, something like that. So that would be a bit miraculous. It would be magic, which would be interesting considering that Noah repeats Eliza over and over. That it's not magic.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting if she was still alive, but I would think that it's most likely that it's been carried on in secret and one after another, and kind of in that succession.
Yeah, I was going with that too. It's either it's some kind of lineage or she with all the magic that she's dabbled in. So I was just curious. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah, that it would have to be magic if she was still alive.
yeah,
But
and the Lady Clarence thing, do you think that she will give her the stuff to kill the mistress, or do you think she'll do something to harm her?
I don't know if she'll do something to harm her. I think that Nella's moral compass and the fact that I don't really view her as she murders these men. I feel like she did it on her own, right? To her. I forget his name. What was his name? Starts with an F, I think. Frederick or whatever it was.
Yes.
So she did it to him, but I think that she views it as she's facilitating these other women to handle the things and that are their barriers or their abusers. Um, as far as Eliza goes, I think she's 12, so I think that she's just following these women that she looks up to. They are the adults that she looks up to. And so she's got her mistress, her woman that she works for who wants to kill her husband, but she doesn't understand the reason why she wants to kill her husband is because of what he has done to Eliza.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
think that she sees them and she idolizes them, and so she wants to be more like them, and she sees these women that she idolizes and that she values, and so she's just, this is what you do. I don't think she's really able to grasp the right and wrong of those gray areas
Right,
at
the
12.
moral. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I wanted to ask, with your answers as a segue, and I'll start back with Tara, if what do you think happened to Nella? Like we're presuming she had, this is also part of Robin's questions. We'll do this like a two-parter. So Robin's question was, what do we think about like using this like magical herbs and stuff for medicine? And then the theme of pregnancy loss, pregnancy that's all throughout the book so far. And then what do you think Frederick did to Nella, that made her either lose her baby or make it so that she can't have a baby? Do you have any thoughts on what happened to her to get her to that point?
I honestly have no idea what happened to her. I think maybe because it seems like she found out she was the mistress, that it could be like a stress, a shock, and maybe the herbs, medicine she used for him could have possibly backfired on herself at that point,
Yeah.
and it could have been like a cause and effect. She
Oh,
thought she was doing good by getting rid of him, and it ended up making her possibly killing the baby and unfertile.
Oh my gosh, that makes a lot of sense because she has so many ailments and she kind of blames it. Like every time she does something for somebody, she gets a new pain and she lives in a pain. Maybe what she did to him caused a repercussion to her. That's interesting. And how do you have any kind of viewpoints on like apothecaries or like using this type of medicine to help people? Or like, have you ever gone to one? Do you use any kind of thing like that?
I haven't gone to one, but I mean, if it works, I say go for it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Robin, I'm really interested on your take on it. First, starting with your idea of the magic, the apothecary, the pregnancy theme. What is your feelings on that?
So I will try to keep this brief, but so I am a woman in her 40s that has two children that I birthed in my 40s. And I had two late pregnancy losses in my 40s. And so while I'm reading all of this, and there's so much talk about babies and loss and things like that. And so part of it made me wonder like, so if I lived in the 1800s, there's probably no way that I would have the children that I have. All three of my children were born cesarean section. So like there's no possible. She talks about Joanna like trying to birth the baby and how the baby wouldn't come. And like that's what happened with my first. So like I was in labor for a very long time and it's only because of modern medicine that my baby is alive. So she's my 9-year-old now. So this book has hit so hard for me. So
Wow.
yeah, so there's a whole lot of things that I'm like, ooh. But there's a part where she is talking about when she finds out that she's the mistress. So like when we find that out, and she says, like how hurt she was, but she says that was not the least of his transgressions. And then she grazes her hand across her belly. So I think that Frederick did something to her, and that is why she lost the baby. And like, and now I think that she's one of those women that like, this was her one chance. Like Frederick was her true love. And then she finds out that, that he's married and she probably just never let anyone else in. And I think that's, what pushed her into the trade that she's in.
Yeah, yeah. First, let me say, as somebody who's gone through that, I'm so sorry. You had to experience something like that. It's the absolute hardest loss because it's difficult for people to understand something that wasn't palatable and like in existence is still so real and so alive to you.
Yeah.
It's a different type of mourning. So I do understand it. It's been really hard for me, and I can't even imagine how hard it's been for you to read. Um, just be really self-care with yourself going forward with it because I have a feeling there's going to be more of this. I think this is going to be a theme of the book. And while I love the book, um, it's hard for me. It is hard. I will Nella on the holding the baby on the boat.
Yeah.
I just wept, so I'm excited though. You give me a little bit of hope. You're in your 40s and you have kids.
Yes.
That's exciting.
And I think I'm now to a point in like my grieving process that I can talk about it. And I think if I had read this book even 6 months ago or like before that, I would not, it would be on my DNF because I would not.
Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing that. It makes me feel less alone. So I appreciate that. Thank you. How about you, Patty? Any thoughts on apothecaries? Have you ever gone? You seem to me as such a whimsical soul. I can't see this being something that you wouldn't do.
Well, I don't know. See, like I used to have a lot of like hippie friends, and they'd be like, "Yeah, don't take ibuprofen. Take this tincture, man." I'm like, "Who the fuck made that?" Like, I'm scared. And they're like, "Yeah, I got it from this place downtown." And so, like, I don't know. I feel like a little weird. I work at Ulta and we actually just had Kiehl's come in, and Kiehl's is the oldest apothecary in the United States of America. And just talking to the person, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like they have their mascot is a skeleton. And everyone's like, why is it a skeleton? Well, actually, since Kiehl's started on apothecary on Ellis Island, there was multiple immigrants who came to Ellis Island and they didn't speak any English, but they needed help. So they got a donated body, a woman's body, and they put it up so that the immigrants could point to where they needed help, and then they could create them for them. So after meeting this person named Will, I'm a lot more open to it. I think that, obviously I love modern medicine. I love taking ibuprofen when I can, but like I didn't see the value in it until I met this person. So I think that's really cool. And I mean, I would like to try and go visit the Keels one on Ellis Island, or, wherever. I don't know if it's still on Ellis Island when I moved it, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Very
Now,
cool.
as for what was the other question? It was about loss. So let me just start by talking about the thing on the boat. And I don't know if this is like a me thing, but like and since COVID, it's gotten worse, but like I'm a germaphobe. And the thought, like I was reading it and I'm like, why are they just giving this lady her baby to hold? Like, what if she throws it over the boat? What if she, I would never do that. So that really, really, like, that part was super anxiety inducing for me. Cause I'm like, obviously we know Nella, she seems like a pretty cool girl, but just the thought of handing my baby over to a complete stranger who is clearly suffering some type of ailment.
Yeah, she was coughing. I was
Yeah, and they're like, here,
too.
hold my baby. So whenever she was talking about not the only ailments and she rubbed her belly, I'm kind of wondering if he might have given her like some type of sexually transmitted disease. I know there are some that when you are pregnant, it will kill the baby and it can render you infertile for the rest of your life. I have a friend who's gone through something very similar to that.
Yeah.
And she was almost due, and it unfortunately
Oh,
made the baby pass away. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't, maybe he did stab her. Maybe he did try to do some type of something else. But I'm wondering if, since, he is sleeping around, he's not
yeah.
faithful, that it might be something like that, which is
Yeah.
why she's getting, and maybe it's one of those things where she didn't get treated. So it's impacting her health more. And now that she's, older, but that's just my thought on it.
Yeah. So that whole thing with the friend and the fertility, that's the stuff that makes me want to go get this beetle stuff. Like I'm ready to go find him with it. You know what I mean? Like the rage. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Eddie, how about you?
I have tried Apothecary. I'm actually on it right now. Um, my girlfriend runs her candle booth at the farmer's market, and there's a booth for tinctures. And I am someone that bruises very easily. So I know I have an iron deficiency, and I have been taking the iron one for a little over a month now. And the bruises that I've had are pretty much gone, and I haven't gotten any new ones. And legit, I've smacked my leg so freaking hard. So I'm also on 5 mushrooms, which helps brain develop, like brain function and stuff like that. And
Right.
so I even went back and got more. I've been doing like St. John's wort, and I did a mood booster. I'm trying the anti-inflammatory for the first time, so I'll let you know how that goes.
Oh my
But so
gosh.
far, I am having wonderful results.
Oh, please keep me posted. I know we both share the love for medicinal cannabis.
Yes,
And I'm even for microdosing on mushrooms for anxiety and things. So I keep me posted. I'm so
of
down for
course.
all
Yes,
of
I've
this.
always wanted to try the microdosing too, so I might have to hit you up
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, how interesting. How about you, Melissa?
I've never been, but I would really be open to it. In another lifetime, I would love to be like a green witch, just everything natural and herbal. I'm really into tea, so I'm always like, someone's like, "Oh, I'm upset," and I'm like, "Oh, a cup of tea will fix that," or "I have a stomach ache." Oh, chamomile's good for that. But yeah, definitely would be into that. As for the baby, I didn't see any trigger warnings, but I went kind of dark with mine, thinking that once she found out she was a mistress and tried to call it off, in typical man fashion, at least in that time for that time period. I'm wondering if he essayed her brutally because sometimes when they get a little rough with that, it can cause that. So I was thinking along those lines.
Yeah,
But I didn't
yeah.
see any trigger warnings in the book, so I don't know if they just didn't put it because they didn't want to ruin it or if that's not the case. So
Oh no, I think you might be right. That's terrible, man, but you might be right. Jameson, how about you?
I've never been to like an official apothecary. My grandma had an herbal remedy for everything. Um, Feverfew for headaches, and I mean, anything you can think of. Um, I don't know that I would call myself a green witch, but if I can find a natural remedy for it, I will 100% do that before I try anything else. So I am not opposed to any of that. I think it's a money issue. I think a lot of times big pharma doesn't want us to know that here are all these things that you could do instead of taking this pill that has 106 side effects. Um, but that's just my thing. Um, I don't know. I don't know what he did to her, but I think he is responsible for her having lost the baby and not being able to have more. Um, I was wondering if I don't know, maybe if he used something and he didn't know what he was doing, like if he gave her one of her own, like her own
Remedies?
remedies,
Mhm.
but if he didn't know how to do it, maybe it caused more damage than he thought it would, or maybe he did it on purpose. That's kind of what I thought. It would be easy to just like slip something
Accidentally.
to somebody and they wouldn't know because she trusted him. But
Oh, yeah, I get something more like nefarious from this dude. Like, but you may have a point. I feel like it was premeditated, like he did it on purpose to harm her. I feel that, but you could be right. Really could be.
yeah,
Maybe it wasn't intentional, or maybe
I,
it was,
I
and he did use it that
I
way.
think whatever he did it on purpose. But I just don't. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what he did. I can't.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I was thinking. I was thinking he drugged her somehow. But
mm, very fascinating theory. Emily, how about you? I have a feeling if I'm on point with this, with your prepping, I think you probably like natural medicine.
I
Yeah.
do. I have a hippie mother. Um, so I grew up in Southern California. My mother was a hippie. So I grew up with, funny story, we didn't eat chocolate. We were allowed to have carob. So I have one of those moms. We ground our own flour. Um, so yeah, I've done a lot with like homeopathic and naturopathic medicine. You will find this also if you've had bariatric surgery, you can no longer take ibuprofen. And for a long time, I was living on that. I have a number of chronic pain issues. I'm hypermobile, so my joints are so great. Um,
Oh.
but I do live on I use a lot of supplements even now. I would prefer to have something that is natural and grown by nature before I put chemicals into my body. Are you guys still having a hard time hearing me?
No, no, it's
No?
so much
Okay.
better now.
My headset sometimes gets wonky and so it does that. But yeah, no, I've used Apothecary quite a bit and still do. We prefer it. My husband doesn't like to take medications either. So we have ibuprofen and Tylenol, things like that in the house, but we don't. We use a lot of turmeric for anti-inflammatory things like that. You do just have to be careful, like Beansy was saying, with a lot of the interactions, especially if you are on beta blockers or like mood altering medications. You also have to be careful with my brain is going a mile a minute, so you have to excuse me.
Get you careful.
Antibiotics.
Yes.
With antibiotics, because a lot of things will interact with antibiotics and can make them not work anymore. So you have to be careful. Oh yes, grapefruit, Patty. Good point. Grapefruit too. Yeah. So yeah.
What do
I
you
have
think
lots
about
of
the theme of the pregnancies? Do you think that he was the reason for the loss, or what do you think he did? Or
um that's hard to say. It's certainly possible that it's that he did something. I think that she, in finding out that she was the mistress, there was probably, I could imagine, a big issue, and a big argument, which could have either turned into an altercation, which could have caused her to lose the baby, or he could have just basically said, well, screw you. And then you can die from a broken heart. So I'm sure there have been women throughout history who have lost pregnancies due to that emotional stress and trauma that occurs as well. So, that's certainly a possibility. But I mean, a sexually transmitted disease is, like Patty was saying, is certainly possible, because there are many that will affect your fertility even in the long run.
oh, terrible, absolutely horrible.
Mm.
That's how I lost mine twice. Was
Mm.
from emotional abuse. So yeah, I could definitely empathize that stress is not good for babies, basically. Just not.
Stress isn't good for our bodies at
No,
all.
no, it's not. It really isn't. Beans, did you want to share? Oh, also beans, I take turmeric is what I use in place of ibuprofen because I'm going to be having the bypass. But I'm sure Emily has a way more diverse resource. But did you have anything you wanted to share about the apothecary? And also, I saw you've taken some supplements yourself.
Yep. Yeah. I used to, because I didn't want to, I had a doctor put me on the highest level of Prozac after some attempted life taking, and I didn't like not feeling anything. So when I decided that I needed to have like a mood stabilizer, I turned to like natural things instead, like St. John's wort and I think like ashwagandha, I think it's called. Um, but the Lexapro works a lot better for me.
Oh, wow. Do you think that he was the reason for the loss of the baby? And do you think he hurt her?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. I think I think that there's a men are terrible theme happening in this book so far. Like it seems like every time there's a mention of a man, he's done something pretty awful.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. How about you, Aaron? So I know you're always looking for alternative remedies for the kids that aren't something like medicinal. So I know you're open to that. Have you ever been to an apothecary? And then also about what he did to her and the theme of pregnancy and things.
I have never been to an apothecary myself. And I actually have a story very similar to Robin's, where without modern medicine, my children would not be here. My body doesn't react well to pregnancy. I get it's called ICP, cholestasis of pregnancy, which happens to, they say, like 1 in 1,000 women. But for me, it's very serious because it happens in the first trimester, which means it's a liver disorder where my body has like excess bile acids, and it seeps out into your bloodstream, and they'll attach to the placenta and thin the placenta, and it will deteriorate it. So my babies have to be born early. Um, so I'm going to make this very quick. I'm not going to cry because everyone knows I'm a crier. But when I was pregnant with Gunnar at 17 weeks, the doctor called me and said, you need to come to the hospital right away. So I got there and they said, you have to terminate your pregnancy or you're going to die. And I was like, I don't know. There has to be like something else that we can do. Anyway, I talked to all these other doctors and they said that we could try it out and see what happened. I had to go to 4 doctor's appointments a week between a liver specialist and like maternal fetal medicine. But we got him to 36 weeks and he had to come early. But then when he was born, he wouldn't come out. He got stuck behind my pelvic bone, and eventually they got him free, but like a nurse had to get on top of me and push him out, and then I had to be basically cut open and they had to twist him out. Well, he was born and his left arm wouldn't work because of the damage, and he also was born not breathing. And they did get him breathing again. They got him back alive, but the doctor said they don't know how long he was without oxygen. So they didn't know if he would have any like neurological damage. They didn't know if his arm would ever work again. Anyway, he's fine, perfectly healthy, 100% healthy. But I'm just saying, like, without all of that, like modern medicine, I wouldn't have him. And then the same thing happened with Gabby. Obviously, they just had a C-section that time, so we didn't have any other issues. But I'm just saying, without modern medicine, I wouldn't have my children. So I don't know. And then I know it's not the same, but when I see people like doing like home births with midwives, I get so scared because of my story. It scares me so bad. I don't know. So I don't, and I do though. I do look for lots of natural remedies before I give my children medicine, just because I know that sometimes it is damaging, especially because they said that the reason why I get it so bad is because I have an easily irritated liver. So I got sick once before with kind of something similar. So I just have to be careful. Like I'm not supposed to take a lot of medicine either. So I don't. I just go to like push through it until I feel better most of the time. But yeah, I don't know. So
Oh my gosh, both your babies are such little miracles. And I noticed how grateful and how just in all of them you are. And I've always wondered, like, did she struggle at all? And so thank you so much for sharing. I had I knew there was a complication, but I didn't know it was like that. So wow.
mm,
And
yeah,
how
thank
brave
you.
of you. I don't know if I would have been able to allow myself to get pregnant again after what you went through, like the PTSD part of that, like mind
Well,
blowing.
Gabby was an accident. I didn't mean for her to come. And I mean, we know how babies are made, but still,
Yeah, but
it
look at
was
it.
meant to be.
Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna cry if I keep going. Okay, so we will finish with Udi's question, which I think is really I think we were all here. Um, do we think that she's gonna kill her cheating husband, Caroline? Let's say she finds the apothecary, which I think she probably will somehow. Do we think she's either going to go back to Cincinnati with him and raise, if she's pregnant, raise the baby, or do we think she's going to kill him? And we'll start back with Tara.
I personally think she's gonna kill him.
Really?
I don't,
Really?
I
Okay.
think she's found so much in herself already
Yeah.
that there's no way she's gonna go back and just go back to the life she had.
I don't think she's going to go back either. I don't know if she's going to kill him. I think we may find out more of what he's done. Like more and more keeps getting released on his transgressions. And if it gets any worse, I think she's going to be tipped over the edge. How about you, Robin?
I don't think she's going to go back to Ohio. I think she's going to find a way to stay in London. Maybe she'll try to go to Cambridge or something. I think this journey is going to push her back into her like historian love, and she's going to find something that she doesn't need an advanced degree for, but she can like, and I think maybe that's the connection with Gaynor, is that
Mm-hmm.
somehow she ends up like helping her to find her place. Is it really bad if I say I wish she would kill him, but I don't think she will?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have a feeling that she's going to be a librarian with that daughter of the guy. That was where I thought, I hope that she would end up. Okay. How about you, Patty?
Do we skip? No. Is it my turn? I feel like okay. I want her to be with Gaynor so bad. I want them to be gay and happy in London. That's all I want for them. Dude, anytime you ask my husband, he's like, why are you always making it about gay? I want everyone to be gay. I want to be gay. So I just want them to be together and happy. I don't want her to kill. Is it James? Is that his name?
Yes, I think it
Yeah,
is.
I think it's James. I don't really want her to kill him. I feel like he's going to end up, you know, I feel like he's going to be of his own demise. I feel like he is going to end up doing something to himself or just, in his arrogant ways. But I don't think that Ohio is in her future. I think she is going to end up getting married to Gaynor, and then the Bachelor is going to be her stepdad or her father-in-law, and that's what I want for them. So
Oh, I
bad.
love this. I love this. I also want to say you're one of the only people that bought one of our gay shirts from Cozy
Oh,
Corner. And I'm like,
are you surprised?
yeah, I was like, shit. Well, I know you love the gay community. How do you buy, or does she just
He
love
is.
gay
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I love this so much. So thank you so much for the support. You're fabulous. How
Oh, I
about
tell my
you?
husband every time, I'm like, I will never, ever be with a man. Like, you do not ever have to worry about me cheating on you with a man or anything. And if you die, God forbid, I will never be with another man again. They're fucking gross. And I hate
Don't
them.
blame
So,
you. Don't blame me.
ah.
Team girl over here. How about you, Udi?
I really hope that she kills him. I really do. Just because she gave up everything for this man.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Patty. That would be freaking awesome if they ended up together. I mean, they're both nerds. Like, how awesome would that be? I didn't even think of that. I love you, dude.
Oh,
Uh, but yeah, no, I definitely hope that she kills him and they keep the baby and they raise the baby and they're a bunch of little witches together.
oh my God. I would be so happy. This would be
Right?
a celebratory book. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
do. But that's about
Uh-huh.
my
It's gonna
opinion.
be a rough ride. I think
It is.
more and more, but if it ends that way, I will be so happy.
I agree.
How about you, Melissa?
I agree. I don't think she's going to kill James, but I think she is going to stay in England and form a life there. Either be best friends with her. And I like the ending up with her romantically, though. That was not something I thought of. So now I'm on that train as well.
Right? Oh, that would be so amazing. There is a connection. There's definitely something there as far as like a friendship. So that's cool. So how about you, Jameson? You think she's gonna kill him?
I don't. I don't think she's gonna kill him. I think that I think he's a narcissist. I don't think that she gave up anything for him. I think he manipulated her into giving things up for him. And I don't even think she realized it. I think he's going to do something that's going to make her realize who he really is. I don't know what the something is, but I feel like him chasing her when what she really wanted was some space, and like he just doesn't listen to what she wants. And I think he's going to do something and it's going to make her realize this is not what I want anymore. I'm not going back to Ohio. I don't think she's going back to Ohio.
Do you think she's
As
pregnant?
what is that?
Do you think she's pregnant?
No, I don't think she is.
You don't think she's
I don't
pregnant.
think
Patty
so.
does.
I don't I don't think she is, just like from a writer's perspective. I think like it feels like what is coming for her is just like a new beginning and a fresh start, and I'm done with this. I'm done with my past and I'm done being safe and settled, and I got to think about what I want, and being in that space doesn't it's not real conducive to raising a child. Um I just think it's the stress. I
Mhm.
think like having had that happen to me, like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh, well,
Yeah.
you're stressed. I think that's what it is. Um,
Ooh.
as
Interesting.
a gay person, I didn't like I want her so bad to have a friend. I think that I didn't link. There's definitely a connection, but I did not think, oh, they're gonna end up together. It just didn't.
It didn't me either, and I'm so
Yeah,
shocked into lesbians. I don't know why it didn't hit me, but now I'm here for it. I am so here for it.
yeah. I don't think he's gonna die, but I think he's gonna do something dumb.
Okay, I can't wait to. I really hope she's either pregnant and she carries the forest charm. If she has a miscarriage in this book, I may have a breakdown. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't happen. Emily, how about you? Do you think she kills him?
I don't know. I don't know if she'll do that. I was actually just responding in the chat. Um, I don't think she kills him. I think that what she does is she gives him the great big old finger and there's the door. I don't think she's pregnant. Also, from a writing perspective, it's too easy of a storyline. So either we're going to go with that continued theme of loss and grief, or she's going to not be pregnant and going to have that bittersweet heartbreak versus relief of not carrying James's baby. I didn't clue in either to the possibility that maybe there's a little budding romance that's coming down the line with the two of those ladies. I wouldn't be surprised though. But I was included into that that's possible. I do think that there's a friendship and a kinship that's probably going to be growing there. I don't think she'll go back to Ohio. I think she'll choose to stay in London. I wouldn't be surprised if she takes on the apothecary and kind of brings it back just because of um its historic story. If she is pregnant though, I wonder if what the author will end up choosing is to either have that heartbreak or have her raise a child on her own, because we do have that strong female character kind of leading the charge theme.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say 14 chapters in where I think an author is gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell you where I would probably take it at this point, but that may change, as you all know, come the middle of the book, where I go, "Ooh, I see what you're doing there," and then I completely change where I think they're gonna take it. So I think either way, it's gonna be good. We'll see.
Yeah. How about you, Beans? Do you think she killed him?
No, I don't think that she does. I definitely don't think that she goes back to the States with him either, though. Um, I think she's gonna stay there. At least I hope she is. Like she's really in this, like discovering who she would have been if she hadn't sacrificed for him. So I hope she stays on that path and stays in Cincinnati, but I don't think she's gonna hurt him. It doesn't seem like her character.
Okay. And Aaron?
Um, I don't think that she kills him, but I do think that she stays. And is she pregnant? Maybe. I kind of feel like she's gonna be pregnant and like live out her little happy life in London, like Miss Honey and Matilda, like in their cute little cottage, just having their perfect little life without him. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
That would be a very happy ending. Well, we are all done. We're going to read to the end of chapter 24, I believe. I marked it. Yeah, the end of chapter 25. So that's where we're going to go to, only because the last meeting of the month always takes the longest, so I gave us the shortest part of the book there. So the end of chapter 25 is where we'll go to, and then I'll see you guys next week. And take care of yourself. If anybody needs some support, just message me and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Love you guys.